Do you ever look at your cat and wonder if all those strange little habits mean nothing at all? The way they stare at the wall, knock things off the table, rub against your legs, or suddenly sprint through the house like they've lost their mind. Most people call these cat quirks, but they're not random. They're messages, quiet ones, ancient ones, and if you keep brushing them off, you could miss what your cat has been trying to tell you all along. Because behind every strange behavior is a reason. Sometimes it's instinct. Sometimes it's trust. Sometimes it's a need your cat doesn't know how to express any other way. What looks odd to you often makes perfect sense in the language of a cat. And once you start seeing that, everything changes. The weird becomes meaningful, the confusing becomes emotional, and your cat stops feeling mysterious in the worst way and starts becoming understandable in the best way. In this video, we're breaking down the strange things cats do and what they actually mean. And stay with me until the end, because the last one, the reason your cat suddenly jumps at you from nowhere, is one of the most misunderstood behaviors of all. Group 1. Bonding and affection behaviors. Have you ever wondered if your cat actually loves you or just tolerates you because you fill the food bowl? That question sounds a little harsh, but it points to something most owners never fully understand. Cats do feel deep attachment. They do form real emotional bonds, but the way they express it is completely different from what we expect. And because of that, some of the strongest signs of love are the ones people overlook the most. Let's start with something you've probably experienced, but never fully understood. When your cat presses its paws into you, slowly, rhythmically, almost like it's kneading dough, it might seem like a random habit, maybe even a little annoying when the claws come out, but that moment is anything but random. That motion comes from the earliest days of your cat's life, when it was a tiny kitten pressing against its mother to stimulate milk. Back then, that action meant warmth, safety, survival. And now, when your cat does it on you, it's returning to that exact emotional state. You are not just a person in that moment. You are safety. You are comfort. You are home. And here's the part most people miss. The stronger the kneading, the deeper that feeling goes. Some cats even start to drool slightly, slipping fully into that relaxed, almost infant-like state. That's not weird. That's trust, at its most unguarded level. Interrupting it, even casually, can break that moment. So instead of pulling away, just adjust. Maybe place a blanket down and let it happen, because what your cat is really saying is, I feel completely safe with you. Now take another behavior that often confuses people. Your cat starts licking your hand, your arm, maybe even your face. It feels rough, unexpected, sometimes a bit excessive. But again, this is not random. In the cat world, grooming is not just about cleanliness. It is about connection. Cats groom each other to strengthen bonds, to reinforce a shared identity, to say, you are one of mine. So when your cat licks you, it's doing something incredibly specific. It's including you in its inner circle. You are no longer just the provider. You are part of its family structure. It's mixing your scent with its own, creating a shared identity that exists beyond simple companionship. And then there's the moment. Your cat rubs its face against you, your legs, your hands, sometimes even your face. It looks simple, almost like a casual greeting. But what's actually happening is much deeper. Cats have scent glands around their cheeks that release pheromones, a kind of chemical signature. When your cat rubs against you, it's marking you, not in a possessive way, but in a meaningful one. It's saying, you belong here. You are part of my world. This is also why your cat often does this. After you've been out, you come home carrying unfamiliar smells, and your cat immediately goes in to overwrite them with something familiar, something safe. It's scent. That behavior is not just recognition, it's restoration. And then there's one of the strangest, most misunderstood gestures of all. Your cat walks up to you, turns around, and raises its tail, showing you its rear. From a human perspective, it feels awkward, maybe even a little offensive. But in cat language, this is one of the highest compliments possible. This is how kittens greet their mother. This is how cats greet individuals. They trust completely. It's an act of vulnerability. Your cat is literally turning away from you and exposing one of its most defenseless areas. That only happens when there is zero fear, zero hesitation, just pure trust. So when your cat does these things, kneading, licking, rubbing, even that strange little turn with the raised tail, it's not being random, it's not being weird, it's communicating in the only language it has. And what it's saying, over and over again, is something most owners never realize. You are safe, you are mine, and I trust you more than you think. Group 2. The things your cat does that you've been reading all wrong. Some of the things your cat does every day can look annoying, dramatic, or even cool, but the truth is, a lot of those behaviors are being completely misunderstood. Your cat isn't trying to upset you. It's trying to respond to the world, like a cat, and that world makes sense in a very different way than ours. Take the moment your cat brings you a dead mouse, a bird, or even just a toy, and drops it at your feet. Most people react with disgust. But your cat isn't trying to scare you. It's trying to provide for you. In the wild, this is how a mother cat teaches her kittens to hunt. So when your cat brings prey to you, it may be acting out a deeply instinctive form of care. In its mind, you are either family or someone terribly bad at surviving alone. Then there's the habit of knocking objects off tables. It looks deliberate. Because it is, but not in the way people think. Your cat isn't being mean. It's testing, exploring, watching how an object moves, falls, sounds, and reacts. And sometimes, yes, it's also using that behavior because it knows it gets your attention fast. Even crying at a closed door gets misunderstood. Your cat may not even want what's behind the door. It wants access. It wants control over its territory. A closed door creates uncertainty, and cats hate uncertainty more than most people realize. So the next time your cat does something that feels frustrating or bizarre, pause before judging it, because what looks like bad behavior to you might actually be instinct, curiosity, or even connection wearing a very inconvenient disguise. Group 3. The wild instinct still living inside your home. Have you ever watched your cat suddenly explode into motion for no reason at all? 1 second, they're calm. The next, they're sprinting across the room, jumping off furniture, knocking things over, like something invisible is chasing them. It looks chaotic, almost unhinged, but it's not random. It's something deeply wired into them. This behavior is often called the zoomies, and it's actually a release of built-up energy. In the wild, cats don't move constantly. They conserve energy for one purpose: the hunt. Short, intense bursts of action, followed by long periods of rest. But your indoor cat doesn't hunt real prey, so that energy builds and builds until it has nowhere else to go. And when it finally releases, it looks like madness. But it's actually your cat doing exactly what it was designed to do. Now think about those moments when your cat hides behind a corner, waits, and then suddenly jumps at your legs as you walk by. It might catch you off guard, maybe even hurt a little. But here's the truth. Your cat isn't attacking you. It's practicing. Your moving legs trigger the same instinct as a small animal passing by. To your cat, that quick movement is a signal. This is the moment to strike. And here's the part most people miss. Your cat doesn't separate play from hunting the way you do. In its brain, it's the same sequence. Stalk, chase, pounce, catch. That ambush, that's the pounce phase. And once it's done, you'll often see your cat run away, like nothing happened. That's the cycle, completing. So if your cat seems overly aggressive during these moments, it's not because it's mean. It's because it doesn't have enough safe ways to express that instinct. The fix is simple. Give it an outlet. Interactive play. Moving toys. Something it can chase, catch, and win against. Because when you don't give your cat a way to be wild, it will find one. And sometimes that something ends up being you. Group 4. The biological needs your cat is still trying to follow. Some of your cat's strangest habits are not strange at all. They're biological, ancient survival patterns that still live inside a modern animal, sleeping on your couch. And the problem is, your home may feel safe to you, but your cat's body is still reacting to it through instincts that were built for survival, not comfort. Take water, for example. Have you ever noticed your cat ignoring its water bowl, but rushing to the sink the second you turn the tap on? That's not pickiness. That's instinct. In nature, running water is usually safer than still water. Still water can be contaminated. Flowing water feels fresh. So even if the bowl is perfectly clean, your cat's brain may still trust the moving stream more. And there's another detail most people never think about. If the water bowl is too close to the food, many cats dislike that too. In their instinctive world, then there's the habit of sitting directly on your laptop, book, or notebook right when you're trying to use it. It feels personal. Group 5. The hidden sensory world your cat lives in. Have you ever caught your cat staring into a corner, completely locked in, tracking something you can't see? It's one of the creepiest things they do. It feels like they're watching nothing. But here's the truth. It's not nothing. It's just something you can't perceive. Your cat's senses are built for a different version of reality. Their eyes are designed to detect the smallest movements, especially in low light. A tiny dust particle drifting through the air, a barely visible insect, the faintest flicker of a shadow. These are things your brain filters out, but your cat sees every single one. To them, that empty corner might be full of motion, and it doesn't stop with vision. Your cat's hearing reaches frequencies far beyond what humans can detect. While you live in a world capped at around 20,000 hertz, your cat can hear up to around 60,000. That means there are sounds in your home happening right now. High-pitched electrical hums, distant vibrations, subtle noises inside walls that your cat is constantly aware of. You don't hear them. Your cat does. This is also why your cat sometimes reacts before anything happens. They're not predicting the future. They're just sensing it earlier than you can. A faint vibration, a distant sound, a shift so small, your body ignores it, but theirs doesn't. So when your cat suddenly freezes, stares, or reacts to something invisible, don't dismiss it as weird. Your cat isn't imagining things. It's experiencing a world that is richer, deeper, and far more detailed than yours. You and your cat share the same home, but you are not living in the same reality. When you step back and look at all of this, something becomes very clear. Your cat has never been random, not once. Every strange habit, every confusing reaction, every quiet little behavior has always meant something. The problem was never your cat. It was the translation. Because your cat doesn't speak in words. It speaks in instincts, in patterns, in actions that come from a world that existed long before your home ever did. And when you don't understand that language, it's easy to think your cat is distant, or weird, or even difficult. But now, you see it differently. The kneading wasn't just a habit. The stare wasn't empty. The sudden jump wasn't aggression. It was communication. It was instinct. And in many cases, it was trust. And here's the part that matters most. Once you start understanding your cat, your relationship changes. You stop reacting. You start responding. You stop guessing. You start connecting. Because to your cat, you are not just someone who feeds it. You are its territory, its safety, its entire world. And the way you respond to these small moments determines how safe that world feels. So the next time your cat does something strange, don't ignore, don't brush it off. Look closer, because your cat might be telling you something you really don't want to miss.